All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another interview with Drip Talk with Blake Disnake Roberts here once again. And I have a very special guest with me today. He is no other than a current professional wrestler. He has wrestled for the original ECW, NWA, LIWF, IWA, and much, much more. He has one half of the former ECW faction / tag team, Baldies. He is no other than Angel Medina, also known as Spanish Medina. So we're going to get him on in here, and then we will start with the interview. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good, man. But first, I got to clarify a little bit something. It's not the Spanish Medina. It's the Spanish Angel. That was my original monarchy when I first started in the business. So Spanish Angel. Then, of course, you got to introduce me in the correct way. The Kingpin Angel, the leader of the faction, the Baldies. DeVito was my Marty Jannetty in the business.
All right. Yeah. Sorry about that.
All good.
All right. So thank you for taking your time out to do this.
No problem, man. I appreciate you, asking me to do your show.
Yeah. So I'll start off by asking you my first question. When did you start doing wrestling and what made you want to do it?
I mean, to be honest with you, just like any kid. I mean, I was like 14 years old in junior high school, and I got hooked on it through a bunch of friends that were watching a lot of NWA, on TBS, at the time, pro wrestling. So I mean, I got hooked on that time, hooked on that, and then eventually I just got hooked up at a school, Gleason's Gym, with Johnny Rods, and I showed the interest when I was like 17. I was about to turn 17, so that's when I got into the business around that time.
Sweet. Yeah. Somebody wanted me to ask you about Johnny Rods. How was he as like a trainer and how did he train you?
I mean, Johnny was great, man. Johnny was like a father figure at the school. He always treated me right. He was like my dad, because my dad passed away when I was like 14, so I didn't have a father figure, and Johnny filled that spot to guide me in the right direction in regards about professional wrestling. Johnny's an old school cat, so he was there was no fluff with him. There was no what's the word I'm looking for? Is just he didn't baby us. He taught us the business, how to be tough, how to handle ourselves in the ring, that tough love. So Johnny was just a pinnacle of everybody's career in regards of how we work in the ring, our dedication and our commitment to the business was all from Johnny Rods' tutelage.
Yeah.
And he was great. He was a great guy,
Yeah, he's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, yeah. And he
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
does training to this day.
Yeah, but I can't say it's a downfall or whatever, but he's still training people. But the fact is that if you would have got Johnny, during the early, like the Taz, the Devons, the Damien Demento era, because he was I think in his 50s, you're getting like top. I mean, you're still getting top quality knowledge from a veteran, but he got in there and got his hands dirty. So I mean, it's just a lot of guys don't get that experience, even though he does get in the ring. But at that time, when we were in the ring, we were getting that 150% Johnny Rods. I mean, he's getting older, so I mean, I'm not saying he can't do what he wants to do, but I think the benefit was he was really, really more hands-on with us back then.
Yeah, agreed. When you watched wrestling as a kid, who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
My favorite wrestler growing up, let me see. I mean, I have my favorites, but I'm just trying to like weed them out. I was more focused on the tag team aspect of the. I mean, I like the Ric Flairs, the Sting, Magnum TA, Tully Blanchard, but I was always looking at the Four Horsemen, the Fantastics, the Rock and Roll Express. Let me see. I'm just trying to remember flashback of how I used to watch these things. Eric Embry, Iceman King Parson. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint a favorite because I was bouncing around different channels watching pro wrestling. So, but if I had to narrow it down to like a person, I'm trying to think. Damn, man, it's just so hard because back then it was just so many talented guys that just was the that helped me, build up my love for wrestling. Well, everybody's gonna, I want to say Dusty Rhodes. I mean, I remember, he was flamboyant. So Ric Flair, he was outspoken, doing his Ric Flair stuff, drinking his woo energy drink. You know what I'm saying? Woo! It's an empty can though. But the thing is that those type of guys, you could be a great wrestler, but they were also great talkers. So I think that's what also grasped my attention.
Yeah, for sure. Who would you say you like to watch now in the business? Like a favorite?
I don't watch wrestling. I don't watch it because it's not that I don't watch it. It's just I catch more on like surfing the social media. Like if I scroll through TikTok, I see it. Everything on social media, but I don't sit down and watch because it's just weird, man. Once you get into the business and you become a veteran in this game, then you start noticing things that you're like, man, I wouldn't have done that. This guy sucks. This is horrible. You don't look at it for the fun aspect anymore. You're just there to critique and just, and I just don't see anybody that just like stands out like, oh my God, he's awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got your Ricochets, you got your Evan Bournes, you got your Randy Orton, but see, Randy Orton's from the, during the, Evolution and going back a little bit during that time. Now but there's nobody there that I could say, oh man, dude, I got to watch WWE because I love watching them. But the most talented person that should get the biggest push that I think, from my perspective, my opinion, is Ricochet, man. The guy is just phenomenal, man, doing it. And, like he could do a lot of things with AJ Styles. I mean, he should be heavyweight champion. I mean, it's just the guy's a great, great athlete. But again, I don't watch it to follow him. I just know his work.
Yeah, Ricochet is great. He was one of my favorites, definitely with the high flying that he can do.
Drinking a Sonic. We're not sponsored. We're not sponsored by Sonic, but I had to get a beverage.
Yeah, of course. I think Ricochet could be like a current, like DeBaldi's member. I feel like could definitely.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's funny, but I mean, the guy is just so fluid, so agile. I mean, he just defies gravity when you see him in the ring. So I mean, that's why I just say he needs to what's the word I'm looking for, man? And not him. It's just they should give him the opportunity because he's just a great athlete, like he could do a lot of good stuff.
For sure. Yep. Was there anybody in your family that inspired you to get into the business?
In the wrestling business? No. Nobody in my family has ever gave me any type of it's just difficult because a lot of my relatives, were just street guys, the street kids, someone was selling drugs, someone was living the life of crime, some became police officers. So it's just hard. None of them were like, oh dude, watch wrestling. So I guess say nobody in my family. Now, support wise, don't get me wrong. Like when I was in the business in ECW, my family, my uncle, they were very proud of me, but then they never were involved in my becoming who I was, to help me guide me in that direction. They just said how proud they were of me, that's it.
Yeah. Who would you say has been the most stiffest wrestler you've gone in the ring with?
The stiffest? That's difficult to say because I mean, with Johnny Raj, we were always trained to to absorb a lot of punishment. So if we got in the ring with somebody who was strong style, we knew how to we knew how to take it to the next level. So if it was somebody that worked smooth like a Ricky Steamboat or Jimmy Snooker, we worked their style. If it was put to the next level, like a stiff individual like RVD, Too Cold Russell Strong style, Roadkill, he gave you a couple of good potatoes. Chetty used to give us a good couple here and there, but again, we were so drilled in regards of how to adjust with every type of performer that it didn't really bother me how stiff they were, because once you give it, you receive it,
Yeah, most definitely. Were you ever in like any type of school or amateur wrestling as a kid?
Just high school wrestling. I mean, I got into high school wrestling. I was doing that after football season to keep in shape. We had we could pick our own gym classes, so they had weightlifting, JV, varsity football. I don't know how it is nowadays in high school, but when I was in high school, you had you had a choice: regular gym, weightlifting, JV football, varsity football, and I remember they were wrestling. But the JV football and varsity, all you did was, go in the gym and run cones, suicides, hit the pads. So it was just like going through the motions instead of just regular gym. But after football, it was always wrestling, and I did wrestling, and then I did my varsity weightlifting, and that was, like I said, the class was like working out football drills and also lifting weights.
Yeah. Were you ever in like any type of drama class or did any type of musicals as a kid in
Well,
school?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Every kid was in any type of performances in school. I mean, any plays, any type of. But I mean, were they stupid? I mean, there were not no Hamilton. There was not no. They were just simple. I mean, you should know. I mean, you're in school. You're in school, and you probably been in the same type of like, oh man, we got to do this Christmas thing, and it's corny, but you have to do it for class. So yeah, I mean, we did some, but it was not really acting. I mean, I got my acting chops through wrestling. So Paul Heyman was the one that helped me to develop my personality, how to talk on TV, how to address the fans. So again, it was not any type of acting. It was just tutelage from great minds, and Paul Heyman was one of them. That Johnny helped me with the wrestling. Johnny helped me with a lot of things. But the more person that sticks out was Paul helping me develop the Kingpin and bringing the character out, if you might say.
Yeah. What do you consider to be a weakness and then strength in wrestling?
A weakness in my world, or just a weakness in general?
In your world.
My weakness, I was true trusting, meaning in this business you have to be very business oriented, and I always took a lot of people at face value, thinking I was never going to get screwed over by promoters and stuff. I was always, oh, no problem. So it was just I should have been more business minded and stood my ground, but I was afraid to always have the word heat with individuals. So that was my one of my weaknesses. And what was the other question? What was the other part?
What about a strength?
My strength was my loyalty. If I was with a company, I would never turn my back on them. Just like when ECW folded, I had the opportunity to go other places, but I just wanted to stay there to show Paul that I was, a team player, because he gave me my opportunity in the business. And since he gave me my opportunity, I just felt out of loyalty that I needed to stick with him, because a lot of guys was jumping ship, going to the WWE, WWF at the time, and I just didn't want to do that to him. I wanted to show him that we were going to stick it out. Oops, my phone. Oh, no. Sorry about that.
It's fun. Is it hard traveling from show to show? And what is the worst thing about traveling?
No, I mean, when you're first starting in the business, I mean, yeah, the hardest part is when you're not being flown and so you have to drive to a lot of different places, but and it's a long drive, and the hardest part is being with individuals that you might not like in the car. And but I always drove with DeVito. If we did drive, we rode the ring truck, so it was always Bill Wiles, Mike Keener, H.G. Loke, Tom Marquez. Those are the guys we, were in the ring crew at the time. So it was long drives in that ring truck. And the worst part about it is that the truck didn't had a governor on it, so it didn't go over. It didn't go over a certain amount of speed. So if we were going on a highway up a hill that was supposed to be, let's say, 70 miles an hour, the governor just stopped us at 50 or 55 miles an hour. So we were just driving real slow.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Who was your first opponent in front of a crowd, and how did you feel going into that first match?
My first opponent in ECW?
Just in a crowd in general.
In the indie wise, my very first was very first opponent was Adrian Street. Guy named Adrian. I forgot the character he was portraying, the wrestler, because he was wearing a mask. That was my very, very, very first show in front of an audience in Harlem. But if you were talking about my very first ECW opponent was Tommy Rogers. If you're talking about, again, the indies where I was first just training and fighting a name was Jimmy Snooker, Sergeant Slaughter, George Steele. Those are the individuals I've wrestled on the independents.
Yeah. What outcome did you expect to see from the crowd in your first ECW match?
I didn't expect anything. I was more nervous of trying to figure out what I was going to do and try to figure out what kind of person I was. So I really wasn't focused on the audience. I was more focused on myself, making sure I remembered what I needed to do in the ring, just remember, how to act in the ring. So I really never thought about the fans. It's not trying to be mean. I was just more nervous trying to find myself.
Yeah. First TV show, so I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to mess up, especially if you get opportunities to show your stuff and then you get in there and then it just goes flat on its face. It's kind of bad,
Yep. If you could go back in time and wrestle anyone that has passed away, who would that be?
A lot of people died, man. So let me see. I'm just going through a Rolodex of individuals. It's just, again, it's so hard when you have a lot of great talent back then. I say Bobby Eaton. He came to ECW, and I think wrestling him would have been fun. When, like I say, he came to ECW, I never had an opportunity to get in the ring. Only CW was able to lay hands on him, if you may say. But yeah, I could say Bobby and Dusty Rhodes was there, Dusty Rhodes too. But if you say I had to pick one, the first person that popped in my head was Bobby Eaton. Beautiful.
Yeah. Who would you say is a top dream opponent other from wrestlers that passed away?
My top dream opponent? If I want to... my top dream opponent? I really don't know, man. I mean, it's just so hard. Like I said, my top dream opponent, because I wrestled a lot of individuals in this business. But I mean, never wrestled Hercules, but he's not a dream opponent. It was just been fun to wrestle him. Justin Thunder Liger, because he passed away and he got paralyzed when he did that moonsault. So yeah, I'll say I say him.
Jushin Thunder Liger is still alive.
The what?
Jushin Thunder Liger is still alive.
The original? Can't remember. Let me see. Hold on. I thought he got hurt. He passed away a while ago, but I could be wrong. I mean, he retired in 2020. Okay, so so he retired. Yeah,
because he got inducted into the WWE Hall of
yeah.
like last year.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, he's still alive, but yeah, fuck it. I'll wrestle him.
Yeah. Who would you list down to your 3 top favorite opponents in your career?
Kid Cash, Nova, and I could say Kid Cash, Nova, Tommy, Dreamer. Oh man, but I can't. Danny Doring. I mean, again, it's just so hard. Those are great matches I had. Roadkill. I mean, even though he was stiff, I loved wrestling him. We always had fun. So
yeah. Do you usually get along and become friends with most of your opponents?
Yeah, I get along with everybody. I don't have any ill will. I mean, there's certain people that rub me the wrong way. I mean, but it's just if there's 10, I mean, like I said, 10 fingers on a hand, there's probably just one out of 9. So I don't really try to build up any type of heat or any type of like I said, I get along with everybody. I like everybody.
Yeah. If you could make a Survivor Series match, including you with 4 wrestlers in ECW besides from DeBaldi's, who would you choose as partners?
In my Survivor Series team, I would say myself, of course, Nova, RVD, Sabu, and Too Cold.
Yeah, that would be good. Would you rather be in a street fight or a death match?
Neither. No. But I don't know, man. I mean, I've done both. They fall into the same type of category. I mean, there's no too much difference compared to the style of matches. I mean, I say a street fight mostly because, again, like these guys nowadays, and again, I'm not knocking them, that's their business, but doing those crazy spots with the light bulbs and diving off the top of the cage through like fluorescent bulbs taped to the ladder. And so I'm like, if I was going to do something like that, you got to show me the cash. You got to show me the quan. I mean, it's in this business all about making money. If I'm going to risk back then, of course, I was stupid. I didn't really think of anything but just to do it. But if I was going to do something like that, if I had my mindset back then, I would have been like, hey, you got to pay me. I got to get paid. If I'm going to break my neck, I got to see that cash.
Yeah. Would you rather be in a blindfolded match, handcuffed to your opponent, or a dog collar?
I'd rather do a dog collar match because the blindfold match is kind of cheesy when you who the fuck was Jake Roberts versus, he had a blindfold match, but I forgot who it was.
Rick Martel?
Yeah, I think it was Rick Martel. But yeah, because you're walking around the ring, like it's just, I don't know. I can't see myself doing that. A dog collar match is more entertaining.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the opponent won't know if you cheat under the mask.
Correct. I mean, some people can make it work. It's just that, like I said, if I'm looking at it from that perspective, I'll say, yeah, I won't be able to. I can't see myself doing that.
Yeah. Is there any piece of merch that you have or had that sold out pretty quickly?
At the time, it was a lot of the Baldy T-shirts that we had, but that's it. You know, I don't have those anymore.
Yeah. Is there any time a fan has seen you in public and got super surprised and or excited?
Yeah, a lot of them, man. I mean, I'm very down to earth, and so a lot of people who bump into me, think I'm like this mean person, but I love the fans, and I always help out the fans. So, I said I bumped into a lot of them who are just very ecstatic to see me.
Yeah. Who is your favorite horror character and favorite horror movie?
Oh, my favorite horror movie is Phantasm, and the villain of that was the Tall Man.
Yeah.
I watch it every year. I watch the whole series during Halloween, during the month of Halloween. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like my Michael Myers, my Freddy Kruegers, my Jasons. I mean, that's just a known classic horror. But if the one I always like, man, I love this movie is Phantasm.
Yeah.
What's
What would you
yours?
say? My favorite is Chucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
The old one or the new one? Because I know there's a new series that came out.
I prefer the old one because it's more original and it's kind
Okay.
of better to me,
Yeah.
at least.
The original is always better. It's hard
Yeah.
to remake. Sometimes you hit it out the park, but sometimes it's a roll of the dice. But anyway, go ahead.
What is generally your favorite music to listen to in your spare time, or like to help you get into matches or whatever?
A lot of old school hip hop, a lot of old school hair bands, Metallica, Def Leppard, just old school R&B. Just House of Pain, Jump Around. I mean, those type of musics. Let Me Clear My Throat. DJ Cool. KRS-One. Rob Bass, all these, just great old school legends. It just depends on my mindset at the time. What kind of music I'm in the mood for.
Mm-hmm. I like Kiss, the band, and then like Slipknot and stuff like that.
I was never a big Kiss fan. I like a couple songs, but I was never into Kiss like Axl. Axl loved Kiss, Axl Rotten, and I was never like a huge fan. Like I said, only 2-3 songs I liked, but that's it.
Yep, and I know BWO was into Kiss too.
Correct.
Definitely
Yeah.
Blue Meanie.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, nothing wrong with it. I just never gravitated to them.
Yeah. If a movie was made about your career, who would you want to play you?
Well, the only closest that I jokingly that would look close to me is Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
That's the only person that can jump in my head that just could portray my character. But I think, like Vin Diesel.
Mm-hmm. That'd actually be good. Yeah, I think that would fit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of bald people, but the only people are like Jason Statham, but that won't fly. Puerto Rican Englishman.
Yeah. Michael Jordan, maybe? I don't know.
He's too dark.
The Rock.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't want to do my shit. Like, he's focused on his life,
Yeah. If you got to choose a stipulation for your match, what stipulation would you be choosing?
Falls count anywhere.
Yeah, those matches are good.
Yeah.
What has been the funniest thing a fan has said to you before?
Are you sleeping with my wife? Nothing. Nothing really. I mean, there's some things that. Nah, I mean, funny stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, there was some stupid stuff like. It's just questions that some questions fans asked that just didn't make any sense, or I was not in the great. I still treated them great. It's just that, but it just always hit me like, what kind of question is this, So, yeah, I mean, I mean, the one thing that is annoying, I mean, don't get me wrong, is like one of those things like, hey, like for example, let's say, hey man, how's it like working with Devon? You go like, what kind of person is he? Nice, I guess. I mean, like it's those are the things that just gets under my skin because again, these are my friends, and you're gonna ask me a question like, what kind of are they a nice person? Yeah, I mean, what answer I'm gonna give you? I mean, I know these guys, but I don't know them. Like, what's his favorite fruit? What does he like? What's his favorite color? Like stuff like that. I don't know. We're close,
Yeah.
but not that close.
Yep. What would you say has been like a best fan compliment you've received at like a show or convention or anywhere?
I think the one thing, there was a guy in Nova Scotia, I think it was, that he said that his child was, very not autistic, but just confined to a wheelchair, and just I forgot what kind of disease the kid had, but they were watching old ECW matches, and his child really liked my character and was asking me to send him a photo for his daughter. I think it was a daughter. I mean, don't quote me on it. And I was more than happy to send him some pictures and stuff. But that stood out, man, because I said Nova Scotia's up there, away from my, very far, and there's somebody in another side of the world thinking like, oh man, I want to reach out to Angel. He's a great wrestler and stuff like that. So yeah, that stood out to me.
Yeah, that's great. Which wrestler has given you the best advice and or compliment?
Dusty Rhodes. It was after the pay-per-view in Atlanta, guilty as charged. I cut a promo after the pay-per-view, and the following week, we were at the ECW arena, and when I walked in, he literally called me over. He stopped me and called me over and said, "I watched your promo. Let's say it was last night. Let's say it was on TV last night. I saw your promo last night. It was really great. But let me give you some advice. This might help you out when you cut more another promo." So because Dusty came to me, he walked up to me. You know what I mean? That stood out. They took time out of his day to coach me.
Yeah, that would be awesome. There's
fuck Dutch. read it for me.
Is it true that you stole Dutch Mantel's ring mat in Puerto Rico? Don't say it's me, LOL. See what he says.
His ring rat? No, man. I mean, I hated Dutch. That I never dealt with anything that Dutch Mantel touched. I mean, Rob Feinstein was a great guy. He was always at the show. He came to Puerto Rico one time with Doug, and I think Homicide was there. Amazing Red was there, and we had a great time. Great bunch of guys. But yeah, Dutch, I won't touch that dude with a 10-foot pole. I mean, I'm just waiting for him to die. I'll celebrate my ass off. Like you told me before, like, do I have any ill will against individuals? And I said, if I could count them on my 10 fingers as 1 out of 9, Dutch Mantel falls in the top category. I will knock him the fuck out. You can send him a copy of this tape.
Yeah. Then there's also defending the Hardcore Road Trip World Title at Great North Wrestling Napanee Schools Outslam, Saturday, June 29th in Napanee, Ontario.
Damn right, man. I'm going to Canada, baby. to defend this, baby. Look at that hardcore road trip title. You know, he's putting the promoter's putting me up against what's his name? See, it's so hard because he doesn't matter, and so it doesn't stay in my brain. But I think it's like Big Daddy Oreo. You know, he's like 350 pounds because, you know, but he's my first opponent when I come to Canada. I love Canada. I love the people up there. It's just I always pop when I go out there, you know. So I'm just blessed that I'm just going to go up there and defend the title since it's been over, I don't know how many years, since 2014 I've been holding that title. Company fell, so I'm still the reigning undisputed heavyweight champion, so I'll be happy to slap the taste out of, you know, Big Daddy Oreo's mouth as I drink my Sonic.
And then here's someone you may know. Hello from Julio Estrada, also known as Rico Suave from Puerto Rico.
Oh man, Julio, man, you know, Jose Estrada's son. I watched Rico Suave when I'm not saying when I was a kid because we're close to the same age, but I used to watch him a lot in Puerto Rico. He's a fellow Boricua, you know, so when I used to wrestle for IWA, we never crossed paths, but you know, he knew Big Vito. So Vito always talked highly of him, said that buena gente, you know. He always showed lots of love to the, you know, fellow wrestlers. So I don't know him, but I heard so much positive things about him that but of course he's Boricua, you know, he's my people. Of course we're going to show love to everybody. But it's like I know him, you know what I mean? But we never cross paths, but everybody talks highly of him. So, you know, one day I'll get to meet him.
Yeah. A great match would have been Debaldi's versus Los Boricuas.
Oh man, I wrestled Hercules Castillo. I wrestled half of the Boricuas when we were in the IWA for Victor, and great matches, man. I mean, I loved wrestling in Puerto Rico. It's just that me and, like I said, the only thing that went sideways is the situation with Dutch. But he was the booker, and guess a hold up, bro. I just didn't want to like have this guy disrespect me, and so that's why it just didn't happen. You know, I could have went to Carlos's company, but I was so pissed off that I just wanted to take a break.
Yeah. Do you prefer being a heel or babyface more in wrestling?
I prefer to be a heel. Being a heel, you set the tone of the match. My opinion, and it's just fun, you know. I mean, being a babyface is great, but I just love being a heel. I just love being the guy who just sets the pace of the match.
Was there ever a time in your career you ever got kicked out of a wrestling show you're wrestling at?
No, I never got kicked out of wrestlers. Like, no heat, no nothing. I mean, we attacked some fans back in the days, but we never got kicked out.
Yeah. Is there any big memory of a time a crowd member came out of the crowd and tried to attack you, or any time you witnessed that?
It was in Pennsylvania. I forgot where in Pennsylvania we were at. It was me and DeVito. We were wrestling local talent, and it was in a baseball stadium. And we had a fan who was just chipping his teeth, and DeVito was arguing with him. So literally, I jumped over the guardrail and just beat up on the fan. Nobody really dared to step across the guardrail, and if he did, then it was on. You know, that's when boots to asses came into play. But I mean, like I said, if you have enough guts to come over that guardrail, then you know, your ass belongs to us.
If you could choose to wrestle for any wrestling company right now, what company would that be?
It's hard because it's just like AEW, for example. AEW it's too much talent there. You know, they have people on the contract that is not really working. So would I be utilized? Maybe not. I mean, WWE. I just turned 52. So would I be able to? If I had a choice, man, bro, this is hard because I'd rather just go to Japan. You know, just go overseas, go to New Japan, go to one of the companies out there, go to Mexico. I love traveling. So, I mean, I know the big three is TNA, you know, AEW, WWE, but again, there's so much shit going on right now that in my brain I'd be thinking, would I be used? So I know I'll be used in Japan or in Mexico or any other country, but I just don't feel like I'll be utilized with the big three out here.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more happy doing behind the scenes stuff, producer, commentary.
Yeah. What has been your most favorite wrestling company you've got to wrestle for in your career?
ECW.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave me my opportunity. He gave me my break, and I mean, it was the best time of my life with these guys. I mean, we're family. So yeah, I could say ECW.
Yeah. Would you rather join? What
Hey
was
man,
that?
that's Joe Boo, baby, from Major Leagues.
Ah. Would you rather join DX, NWO, APA, or BWO?
It's hard. I mean, uh, I'll say BWO because it'd be fun hanging out with Stevie, Meanie, and stuff, and Nova, and just doing some shenanigans. Like I said, I always have fun with those guys. APA, nothing against them. They probably would not have me in there. NWO, those guys, there was too many heads in there, so I would have just been like Virgil, just another colored guy in the background. And DX, there was no brothers in DX, so they won't have me in there, bro. They would have been like, "Yo, carry our bags."
You'd probably be just like a manager for DX, like just a backstage guy, probably.
I'll be slick. I'll be slick carrying the bags,
Yeah. And NWO had enough members. You'd
Yeah, that's
probably
what I mean.
they forget many of the members right now. So I mean,
Yeah, NWO was just too many people, and like I said, you would be lost in the shuffle. I mean, there were the red and black, the white and black. I mean, you would have just been some scenery in the background.
yeah. If you could have any band or singer perform your theme song, who would you want that to be?
I'd say 50 Cent or DMX.
Yeah. What is the least favorite wrestling move to have happen to you?
My least favorite move is Mike Austin's powerbomb to the outside of the ring, which had never been done to me. I have pictures of him holding me up to do it, but of course DeVito pulls me off. But yeah, that one I was like, man, I am not taking a powerbomb outside the ring like Tanaka and all those other guys. No, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I loved the man, but I love Mike Awesome, but I wouldn't. I was like, fuck that, I ain't taking that shit.
Yeah. What has been the hardest move you have tried to do to an opponent before?
The hardest move I can't say I try to do. It was just it was Tanaka trying to do a spinning DDT off the top rope into some tables, and it was hard for me to turn, so it didn't look that crispy. So I wasn't giving it, I was just receiving it, and that's But my moves that I'm not saying they were difficult. It was just a lot of strong muscleman moves. I didn't do any crazy like 360 splash or anything like that.
Yeah. If you could take any signature move from any other wrestler to use, what signature move would that be?
I'll I'll steal New Jacks. I'll steal Homicide's. Oh my God, what's he called? The Gringo Killer or the Cop Killer, whatever Yeah,
Yeah,
I will steal it.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will steal his move just because I know him for years. So I'll steal it. I'll take it.
Yeah. Talking about Homicide, you know what? That would actually you, Homicide, and Hernandez would actually be like a great trio faction.
Well, yeah. I mean, Hernandez. The funny thing is that when LAX originally, when it was supposed to happen, it was supposed to be me and Homicide. He called me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the true story. Homicide called me asking me if I was interested, but the person that was running the locker room at the time was uh, Savio Vega and Dutch Mantel. So since I had heat with Dutch Mantel, Devon was putting a good word in for me. Terry Taylor was trying to put a good word for me. Homicide was putting in a good word for me. But when my name came up across Dutch, he was, nah, I don't want him here and stuff. And that's how Hernandez was able to get that. And again, it's not saying he wasn't talented, but it's just, it's funny how, how when you watch a movie like Back to the Future and you find out that the other guy was supposed to be Marty McFly, but again, it just didn't work out. So they went with Michael J. Fox, and then the rest is history. It's the same thing. I was going to be the original, but it just things didn't work out. So Hernandez got the spot. And of course, it became a successful tag team. It's just, what could have been,
Yeah, that's an interesting story. I never knew that.
Yeah, fuck Dutch.
What usually gets you hyped for a match that you're going to be in?
Knowing that I'm wrestling like some of my friends. So if it's like a C.W. Anderson, a Homicide, just anybody that I'm really close to, I just get excited and just to be in the ring with them and just be part of it. So yeah, I mean, that's my friends.
Yep. What would you say is your favorite thing to do after all your matches?
Like when I was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the days, we used to go to the bars, hang out with the fans, try to pick up some girls. I mean, there's a different mindset back then. As I'm got older, I just want to chill and just hang out and eat. So your mindset changes. So yeah, it was just always going to the bars and just hanging out. I don't really drink, but I just like hanging out, and just catching up with friends.
Yeah. Out of all of the valets ECW had, who do you think which valet do you think could have fit the Baldys the best?
Well, originally, before the Baldies ever came into fruition, it was just me and Lita. Miss Congeniality was her first person she managed as a valet in ECW in Winston, Virginia, I think I remember. And like I said, she was great. So, but if I was gonna choose somebody that would be great to it would be Jazz.
Oh yeah, that would actually be good. I was thinking Kimona Wanalaya.
I never really heard her speak. I mean, I know Kimona
Wanalaya,
but I'm just saying, like, if you go flashback to the, when she was a valet and stuff, she didn't really speak much. Maybe like somebody like a Luna Vachon, somebody with some grit, somebody with some bite. Then when she cuts a promo, it's just like Sherry Martel, those individuals that are pretty. Well, Luna Vachon wasn't pretty, but she had the drive, the talk, like I said, like a sensational Sherry, the drive, the talk, and she was pretty. But again, that would have been something good, and would have been like Harlem Heat, we're coming for you, nigga.
Or even Daphne, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Daphne could have been a good asset to the group. It's just that, I just never crossed paths with Daphne, so I just never. I mean, I've seen her matches and I've seen her being with Crowbar and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I could see it happening.
Yeah. What would you say has been your most favorite venue you got to work at in your career?
My favorite venue? Man, it has to be the
Yep.
ECW Arena, man. I mean, I've been to some great venues and stuff, and some great historical areas where it's just like has some stories behind it. But it's always felt good just to go back to the ECW Arena and just see the fans. So it's a different beast. It's a different environment. It's you can smell it in the air. So yeah, ECW Arena. I mean, everybody picks
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. You know, everybody loves Madison. You know, but you know, if I had a choice, it'd be ECW Arena, the bingo hall.
Yeah. Has there been any time you've accidentally broken out of your wrestling persona, and if so, what story was that and when?
Like, bro, character.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, my character is who I am. I mean, there's nothing different between the actual character of the Kingpin Angel compared to me. I mean, it's just a little tuned up a little bit. But we're the same individual, so I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I cracked a smile, I laughed. You know, I mean, there's certain things that I was like, you know, I broke character because I was like, oh, that was not supposed to happen. I mean, I spit on Tanaka in the face. Um, because my mouth was really dry and I went to spit, but didn't think it was going to come out like that. And a big old wet, not a loogie came out, but it was just my mouth was so dry. It was just hit him on the cheek, and I'm like, holy crap, you know. And you can see it in the video. Like if you ever watched the match, it was Balls Mahoney Tanaka versus the Baldies, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I did. I apologized to him in the back, but I was like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, you know. He was like, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Have you ever gotten embarrassed due to a mistake in a match?
A mistake that was done with my team. I mean, the biggest mistake that I thought that was just something that just was sad that it happened was the Danbury, Connecticut situation with Grimes and New Jack when Grimes fell on top of New Jack. That was not supposed to happen, and then Jack got hurt. You know, because of I don't want to say negligence, but not being prepared. You know, there was a different story to that. It was supposed to happen differently, and it should have been me doing the stunt with Jack, and it would have probably been a different outcome.
Could you tell more on that? Because I don't really know about that. So what was that? What match was that?
You probably wasn't even born, right?
No.
Well, if you ever get the chance to watch the pay-per-view again, the original story is that it was supposed to be me and Jack falling off the scaffold. The only reason that it changed is because before the show even started, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do, and we noticed that the scaffold was a good spot to do some type of suplex high spot. And I told the ring crew if we would be able to get some like plywood to put on the bottom of the scaffold, because if you looked at the scaffold, it was just an open area. Those scaffolds were really for folding chairs, and you stack them. So people just put the folding chairs in it, and then stack them on top of each other. But when there was no chairs there, it was just a scaffold with no floor. So I said, hey, if you guys could put a piece of plywood, a big old piece of plywood, we could do this spot. Jack will suplex me through 2 tables, and we can go from there. So they came back and said, hey man, we couldn't get the wood. We didn't have time to go get the wood. So I'm like, well, I'm not doing it. Let's change it up. Let's do something different. So then Vic Grimes was like, hey man, I'll do it. I could do it. And I was like, all right, then you do it. And then that's what, of course, happened. I don't know what happened up there. Jack said he was scared to jump. Vic Grimes says Jack was scared to jump. I doubt Jack was scared to jump because Jack is not scared of anything. But it was but again, I wasn't up there. So, and then you can tell that the whole match got fucked up. and Grimes landed on Jack's head.
Mm. Did Grimes get injured after that? Or
No,
either one of them?
well, Jack got head trauma and a crack. I think a fractured skull, and think he had some like brain fluid coming out of his ear. I think he told me. So he went directly to the hospital, and as the years went on, I mean, I love Jack to death, but he was just not himself as the years went on. It was just like that injury could have just caused him some serious brain damage. That, again, I'm not saying it was. It's just when you talk to him, you could tell it was not the same person.
Yeah. And then the story of mass transit in New Jack. I know you weren't in ECW at that time.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when you heard about that whole situation of New Jack and mass transit?
I mean, I heard about it. I mean, back in the days, there was no internet. I mean, there was, but it was like AOL, dial up and all that stuff. But at that time, it was not. You learned it. You heard it through word of mouth or on the sheets and stuff. So, I mean, like I said, the story I heard in regards to like what happened with him, the mass transit incident. Yeah, it was crazy, but he was underage. He lied about his age. He was trying to call spots, telling people what to do, and that doesn't fly right with a lot of veterans. Like I said, if you're new in the business, look, I've been in the business for 32 years, but if I was wrestling Greg Valentine, he's still the vet. So hey, what do you want to do, brother? I mean, even Too Cold, I'll use him as an example. I mean, I'll be like, hey man, what do you want to do? I mean, you're the vet, even though I'm a vet, but he's been in the game longer than me, and that's it, man. I mean, yeah, that's it really,
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of, I would say, did it to himself, kind of.
Correct. He shot himself in the foot. I don't know the kid, didn't know the kid, didn't met the kid, but he was the one that set himself up for that tragedy.
Mm-hmm. Because he was basically only like my age, I think like 16.
Yeah, he was like 16, maybe about to be 17, but he lied about it. He was like 18, 19 or something like that. And especially he was a big kid, he's a big kid and he looked like a grown man, so they took his word for it.
Mm-hmm. What would you say has been the most scariest, most dangerous incident in your personal wrestling career?
I think the Flaming Tables match was the most crazy incident that really like took, not saying I freaked out, but it hurt, so that Flaming Tables match is the one that just like really like, holy shit, this is painful, but I mean, there's other incidences, New Jack stabbing me in the ass with a barbecue fork. That was an accident. But if I was going to pick something, it would be the Flaming Tables match with Boss Mahoney. I think it was November to Remember in Chili Willy.
Oh, yeah. What has been the worst you have gotten injured in a match?
Never got injured. I mean, besides the Flaming Table getting burned, that's the only serious injury that I've sustained in ECW, where I had like second-degree burns on my shoulder and the back of my head. That's the only serious injury that I sustained, that I got.
Wow, that's great. What would you say has been the worst pain you have caused on an opponent before?
I think it was with when I wrestled Anarchy in Puerto Rico, and I gave him a belly-to-back suplex, and he landed wrong and accordioned his ribs, so he couldn't breathe. So, yeah, I was apologetic about that, but yeah, I heard him giving him that belly-to-back.
Yeah. If back in the day you got told you couldn't medically wrestle for the rest of your life, what would you do?
Back in the days, if they said I couldn't wrestle anymore?
Yeah.
Probably start my own business, probably, or try to get a job working behind the scenes as like I said, a producer, an agent, a trainer, just something totally different.
Mm-hmm. What is the longest you've had to stay out of action for wrestling?
60 days. Yeah, that's 60 days. Because I got hurt. It was a chair shot to the head, split me open, and the New York State Athletic Commission suspended me for I think it was 60 to 90 days. I think it was 60.
Yeah. What are some of the wrestling championships and achievements you have won so far in your career?
Oh, man. IWA Hardcore Championship, Hardcore Road Trip Championship, a lot of independent championships. It's hard to spit them all out because it's been so long. But I mean, it was a decent amount. But the ones that stood out the most was IWA and the Hardcore Road Trip Championship.
Yeah. Honestly, I think ECW should have gave you a run with a championship. You definitely deserved a championship run there.
No, yeah, I appreciate it, man. I mean, things were supposed to happen with me and DeVito during time at the tail end of ECW, but of course, it didn't pan out. So, the could have, would have, should have. I mean, he went on to be first ROH heavyweight champion with HC Loke, so he got that credential. And I wish me and him got the straps during that time. If it was me and him in the ROH, and Loke or whatever, we could have, dominated that industry at the time. But unfortunately, things happen. Things happen for a reason.
Yeah, changes of plans or something like that.
Yep.
Do you feel like you are worthy enough to be part of a wrestling Hall of Fame or Indies Hall of Fame or any?
I really don't put myself in that category. I mean, if anybody ever considers me to be in the Hall of Fame, it'd be a great honor. I really don't want to tell you that, I should be in the Hall of Fame. Now, don't get me wrong. Tony DeVito's in the Hall of Fame. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Fuck no. But I'm just fucking around. Like Homicide, should he be in the Hall of Fame? Hell fuck no. But no, but again, I love those guys. They deserve it. If it happens, it happens. I never think about it, man. I mean, I'm just blessed and happy that I'm still doing what I'm doing. I'm still relevant. People still ask me for interviews. People ask me to make appearances. To me, that's a lot of respect, and it means more to me than any Hall of Fame because, again, I mean, regardless of the fact, it's just a plaque. And it doesn't really do much for me but stand on my wall. It'll be an honor, but it's just I don't think about me being in any Hall of Fame.
I mean, seeing if Tony DeVito and Homicide been in it, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
oh yeah, man. If you scrape the bottom of the barrel, I mean, I'm not that far off. So I hope, But I'm happy for them.
Mm-hmm. What are 4 words you would describe your wrestling ECW persona?
4 words that describe my 4 words: dedicated, loyal, tough. I was going to use the Kurt Angle's 3 eyes: integrity, intensity. No, like I said, it's loyalty, probably hardworking, passionate, dedicated. If I didn't say that already, so that's 4, right?
Yeah. What would you say are 3 things that annoy you the most in wrestling?
What annoys me the most about in wrestling is I learned this from the veterans where when I was younger, you're always like, man, I've been in the business, I've done so much and I deserve a push. And then, or they grab about the business and, people look at you and go, what have you done to say that? So as the years got, pass, I'm become more like, I get annoyed when people think they deserve something, and it shouldn't be that way. I don't deserve anything. I'm just blessed that I was able to perform and do what I needed to do, but I will never say the business owes me anything. So it just gets under my skin when people think the business owes them something.
Yeah. What about 3 things that you enjoy the most about wrestling?
3 words?
3 things or words, yeah.
3 things. I don't know. I mean, hanging out with my friends, sleeping with a lot of groupies. 3 things, man. And just walking out of the ring in one piece, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And just a random mention, I think you kind of look like Scorpio Sky, you know, the AEW wrestler Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, what about it? That I
You
look like
kind of,
Scorpio Sky?
yeah.
Well, I'm older, so probably Scorpio Sky looks like me.
I mean, yeah. You two wouldn't you two wouldn't be a bad tag team either.
He's probably young, man. He's probably a young dude. How old is he?
I would say probably in like his earliest 30s.
Yeah, he's probably a young buck, man. But yeah, I mean, if you say I mean, if I look at his picture, yeah, we can see a little bit of similarity. He's a little bit darker, I'm probably a little more talented, but
I mean,
no, but he looks great. He looks great,
mm-hmm. If you are upset during or before a match, what do you do to help yourself calm down?
I don't get mad. I don't get upset. I never, ever, ever got into a situation where I lost my cool. Now, DeVito, he always lost his cool. Grimes, he was always yelling at Grimes. I never got mad. I never got upset. As I'm going through the Rolodex of memories, I mean, I just never got upset and never needed to calm down. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if we got in the ring and it was somebody that we didn't like, meaning like, oh man, this guy thinks he's calling all these shots like he's somebody. All right, man, let's put it on him. But it was not being mad or anything. We're just trying to like teach a person a lesson. But that's it.
Yeah. Besides the Dutch Mantel, probably.
Fuck Dutch.
If you could wrestle anywhere in the world, where would that be?
Probably Puerto Rico, Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I love traveling.
Yeah. I kind of knew you were going to say Japan because almost everybody that comes on here says Japan because that's basically like a place that everybody wants to wrestle. I mean, if
I like
person
Japan.
can make it to Japan.
Mm-hmm. I love Japan. Don't get me, I love Japan. I love Australia. I love, Korea. I mean, any place that has wrestling, I just like those. I like foreign countries, but if England, even though it's cloudy all the time, foggy, whatever, but it's just fun. It's just a fun time to go.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever wrestled or done anything in Wisconsin before?
Yeah, we wrestled in Wisconsin. I think we wrestled at the Raven in Wisconsin, because we were not that far from. I still remember this. We're wrestling at, I think it was called the Raven, and I remember they said we're not that far from where Jeffrey Dahmer's killed those people. That his apartment complex was not that far, and also Ed Gein's was not that far from there too. The guy who did Leatherface, that was based off of. But yeah, so yeah, it's just cold up there. And then we went to a freaking Green Bay Packers game, and it was freaking cold. So yeah, fuck that.
Oh yeah, I'm 45 minutes away from Green Bay, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Too cold.
Yeah, it is really cold down here. I mean, I would say I would love to get you booked down here for like a wrestling show if like have somebody book you here.
If it ever happens, it happens. I'd be greatly appreciated, but it's fucking cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called the Rave in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
The big center, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's Milwaukee, but I just remember we weren't far from, and like I said, we went to a Green Bay Packer game, so it wasn't that far.
Yep. What has been the best fan art you have received in your wrestling career?
Oh, dude. Best fan art.
Wow, that's sweet.
Can't beat it, baby. All day. That's the best fan art I ever got. I love this. I got two of them. I got that one, and then he kind of like did like two different versions. One without the tattoos, the one when I first. Yep,
Wow,
guy's a
that's
great.
cool.
Yeah, he's a great artist, man. So yeah, I say that. There's a lot of other stuff, but that's the one that stands out the most.
Yeah, I don't know if anything could beat that. That's like top-notch artwork there.
You're immortalized, man, forever.
Mm-hmm. That's something that like looks like the ringside collectibles would possibly sell. I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it's good work. The guy did some good work. You know,
Which wrestler do you think has the best wrestling gear ever, in your opinion?
by by Ricochet, AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm. What is one unforgettable moment in your wrestling career that you'll like never forget?
I think it's not going to the last ECW show
Yeah.
because I didn't know it was the last one, and I stood my ground. I'm like, I'm not going because they weren't flying us. We had to drive, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to take that drive. And then we didn't go, and we found out that was the last show
The last show of like the
ever.
last year?
Ever. It was done. Company folded. That was the last show.
Wow.
But it wasn't said that it was the last show. It's just after that, the following couple of weeks, then we got a notice like, hey, did you hear ECW folded? So at that time nobody really knew, but it just had this vibe.
Mm-hmm. If you got signed to WWE, which brand would you think your persona would fit? Raw, SmackDown, or NXT?
I'll say SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite current and old wrestlers theme song from any company?
Oh, the Rougeau brothers, All American Boys.
Yeah.
I mark out for that.
Mm-hmm. What about a least favorite theme song?
Um, Jive Show Bro from Slick.
Mm. Yeah.
You just got to look it up if but Jive Show Bro.
If you came with a warning label, what would it say?
Um, hazardous material.
Yeah. What are some of the things you still are striving to achieve in wrestling that you've not achieved yet?
Nothing. I'm not gonna lie, nothing really. Just I'm happy that I got the opportunity, and I'm happy that I just got the opportunity to be with a good company and stuff, and I achieved a lot.
Yeah. Did you ever, after your ECW career, did you ever get asked to go into the WWE or WCW, WF?
No, it was supposed to happen, but it just didn't pan out the way it was supposed to.
Mm. What if you could entrance with any animal? What animal would that be?
To do what?
If you could entrance with any animal, what animal would that be?
Like coming to the ring?
Yeah.
An orangutan.
Yeah.
Like left turn, Clyde. Yeah, an orangutan. Just as shits and giggles.
What is your favorite wrestling quote?
I mean, shit, that's kind of hard, you know. I mean, it's you know, limousine riding, jet flying, you know, Ric Flair's version. Cream rises to the top, you know, Macho Man's, you know, just so many, man. But but Ric Flair stands out the most, you know, limousine flying, jet, you know, limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun. I think that's the one that just stands out of all of them.
Yeah. If you could come up with your own quote, or if you already have one, what would that be?
Well, it's always Kingpin approved, baby. So I always say that.
Yeah. Would you ever forgive your opponent if they injured you?
Depends who it is. If it's somebody I don't know, maybe, you know, it just depends. But I'm pretty forgiving. You know, it depends on the severity of the injury.
Mm-hmm. If you could choose anyone to manage you right now, who would that be?
Prince Nana.
Oh that would actually be really good, yeah. Yeah, he's a great manager, definitely with his whole like moves.
The
He
swerve.
has like a whole great.
Yeah, the swerve, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you could manage any wrestler, who would you want to manage?
I don't know. Scorpio, the Scorpio kid, Scorpio Sky, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Is there any background or inspiration off of your wrestling persona?
That what?
Is there any background or inspiration off of your wrestling persona?
Background or what do you mean?
Like, did you get your persona, your ECW persona, off of anything like as an inspiration to your persona? Or...
No, I mean, my character is an individual that was just something that became me, you know, who I am. Like I was the guy who it was just a different level of me, you know what I'm saying? I just amped up who I was. So I really can't tell you like if it was a character or somebody who influenced me to take it to the next level, but it was just Paul Heyman was the one that just told me to be me, but just amp it up. Take it to the next level. That's all I did.
Yeah. If you went for your finisher or signature and it didn't work, do you have a plan B to do it right away after?
Oh man, that's kind of interesting that you say that. Wow. Oh man, I got to be in the moment, man. I really don't know. I'm being
Mm-hmm.
honest.
If you could dump any type of food and beverage on your opponent, what food and beverage would that be?
A fruit and beverage, food, sardines, a beverage, real thick milkshake.
Yeah. What has been the worst weapon you've got beat/hit with in a match?
Guitar.
And was that like during ECW?
Yeah, I mean, those things really hurt. So I mean, it's just hard to fake that, you know.
Yeah. What are your hobbies other than wrestling?
My hobbies, I got a brown belt in judo. Um, uh, play video games just like any other person. So I like playing with my PS5. Um, but just doing judo and just playing video games and lifting weights, of course.
Yeah. Who would you put in your ECW Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?
I mean, that's easy. Yeah, that's Tommy Dreamer. That's Rob Van Dam. That's Sabu and Sandman.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say Taz, but like I said, there's only four.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of big named ECW wrestlers who could definitely be up in there.
Oh yeah,
If you had one last match, a retirement match, who would you want that to be against?
probably Devon. Yeah, because we never
Yeah.
wrestled each other. I've mentioned it many times that we never got into the ring together. So I think it'd be fun just to finalize my last match with him.
Yeah, that would be great. And also from that, I think I would like to see the DeBaldis versus the Dudleys in a tables match.
Yeah, that'd be fun. You know, I think that would be a good match.
Mm-hmm. If you could wrestle or have a segment with any actor, what actor would that be?
Hmm. I'm just thinking, actor. I'd say Alec Baldwin
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
he does chip his teeth a lot, so he'd be a guy who cut a good promo.
Mm-hmm. When you were growing up, were you more of like a shy, quiet kid or outgoing, loud, and excited?
I was just more quiet and comedic type of kid, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Since you said you were more of like a shy, quiet kid or like comedic, how did you get out of that to know that you were going to become a wrestler and start training and whatnot, and to knowing you'll be performing in front of big crowds?
Well, that goes back to the original conversation we had that Johnny Roz was the one that kind of like helped me grow and helped me be outgoing and try to build my character up to you know. So yeah, Johnny Rods.
Yeah. Out of all the wrestling names you have
Excuse me.
gone under, which one would you say has been your most favorite?
Oh, it's always Kingpin Angel. I mean, a lot of people know me as Spanish Angel, but that's from people who I was with in the Indies. So yeah, I would just say Kingpin, the Kingpin Angel.
Hmm. What was your whole reaction to getting asked to wrestle for ECW?
Oh, I was pretty excited. I just knew that I was like, man, I made it. You know, I got my shot. So I was pretty excited, man. I was just honored to be considered.
Hmm. And how did you get asked to wrestle for that?
Oh, it was just a meeting. Tommy and Paul had a meeting in the locker room, and they just said that they just had this idea, and they brought it up. So when they brought up the idea, that's when we realized that you know we're getting that shot, that opportunity.
Yeah. How did like the wrestlers and workers treat you at ECW?
Oh man, man, we're family, man. So I mean, everybody treated us with the utmost respect. I mean, we gave them the utmost respect. So I'm gonna be honest, man. There was no issues in that locker room, no heat, no nothing to worry about. So yeah, they treated us with kindness. That's a lot of kindness.
Hmm. Who was one wrestler you never got to get into the ring with that you wish you could have in ECW?
Just incredible. Yeah, it's just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you two having a good match.
Yeah.
How did DeBaldi's turn into a faction / tag team in ECW, and how did you guys meet and become friends to become what you guys
Well, I know
are?
DeVito for quite a long time, so that had nothing to do with it. It was just that he was there at the same time, and it just meshed perfectly. It was Paul's idea and Tommy's, and I mean, they're the ones that came up with the idea of the Baldies. They mentioned the movie The Wanderers, and they knew that they said, "Hey, we just have this idea of a group known as the Baldies, based off the characters from The Wanderers." So those things were just the brainchild of Tommy Dreamer and Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Out of all the members from DeBaldi's, who would you say you were the most closest to this day?
The closest to who I've been with it's a DeVito and C.W. Anderson.
Okay. What was PN News and Red Dog like in the faction? Because they're not really talked about as big members in the faction. So what were they like during their
PN News was
time in
cool.
that?
PN News was cool as fuck. Red Dog was cool as fuck. I mean, they were just cool guys, man. We never had anybody in the group that we were just like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? Rob Price was part of the group. Rob Price was awesome. So yeah, not all of them were just a great asset to the faction.
Yeah. So April 5th, 2024 for Battleground Championship Wrestling, you get to reunite with DeBaldi's, HC Lock, and Tony DeVito.
Yes, HC Lock.
Yeah.
Awesome.
To go against the Pitbulls. How do you feel, and how are you getting prepared to work with DeBaldi's once again to defeat the Pitbulls tag team?
Like I said, I'm excited to see Gary Wolf. Like I said, we're good friends outside the ring, but once you win inside the ring, it's business. Being back with DeVito, we always get back to the swing of things. We never miss a beat. HC Lock, it's fun to be with him. I love him to death. He'll pop for this interview, and it's just going to be fun, man. It's a blessing just to be in the ring with those guys.
Yeah, and it's great to have you three back and see you guys still doing the whole DeBaldi's thing.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. Like I said, I am so excited.
Mm-hmm. When do you think the last time DeBaldi's was reunited since then?
Oh, the last time we were together, damn, that was 2 years ago, February.
Oh wow! So yeah, this is gonna be great. Yeah.
Yeah, we wrestled in Jersey, so yeah, it's been like I said, we were just always busy doing our own thing. So but like I said, once we get back together, we're just back in the swing of things.
Mm-hmm. Who was a member of DeBaldi's that you think was the most quietest backstage in ECW?
The quietest?
Yeah.
Oh, the most quietest one was Rob Price. I mean, he was nice, but I don't remember him talking a lot.
Yeah. What about who would you say was most of like a team leader for the team?
Me. Don't ever question that. I was the head guy, bro. DeVito was just to carry my bags.
Yeah. If now in your career, so say you got asked all at the same time by WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, NWA, TNA, and New Japan to make an appearance, but you can only choose one to accept for, which company would you make that appearance?
I'll say if it's an appearance, it depends on what they want us to do. I'll say something fresh, something new. I'll say AEW.
Yeah. I think the AEW fans would pop for that. I think they
Maybe,
would like that.
maybe, maybe. Like I said, it's been a while. I mean, a lot of fans, was not around when I wrestled. I mean, when I was wrestling. So, just yeah. So those things are very hard to like think. Oh yeah, I remember you because a lot of them weren't born. I saw reruns.
Yeah, I think it would be good if it was like in the location of Philly for the show.
Hell yeah, can't go wrong with that, baby.
If NWA now in your career asks you to come back to wrestle or make an appearance, because they're now bringing like lots of wrestlers, would you take up that offer
What kind of offer?
to like be a wrestler there again, or just make this appearance? Or
I'd rather just do the appearance because I just think I won't give him enough. I won't give him enough justice in regards to like getting back in the ring. I mean, like 100%.
yeah, do you think you as a wrestler could have done more in ECW?
If the company was still going on strong, yeah, I think there was more gas in the tank to get to give to the company. So yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So since for WrestleMania and Hall of Fame this year that they're going to be in Philly, the home of ECW,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to have and feel like it would be right for the WWE to have like ECW wrestlers or workers to have like a small reunion in the ring, and that would actually be cool to have them bring them back and like Paul Heyman do like a big speech and stuff.
Yeah, but it just has to make sense. I mean, if they do come up with something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Are you planning on being at WrestleMania for Philly?
No, I'm not gonna be there. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be in Philly doing what I need to do, but I'm not gonna be at the, at the event. I think they're
Yeah.
having some type of some. They're doing some type of WrestleMania watch party, but I'll be flying back to Kansas during that time.
Yeah. Who are some ECW wrestlers that are not in the Hall of Fame yet that you think most definitely deserve to be in?
Well, Sabu, I mean, Tommy. I mean, yeah, there's a plethora of people, but I see those two individuals.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Paul Heyman getting inducted into the Hall of Fame?
I'm very happy for him, man. Well deserved. A leader, a guy who deserves everything. He deserves everything that's coming to him.
Mm-hmm. What would you say has been the most craziest backstage moment you have personally seen during your time in ECW?
I think it was the pay per view in the California where XPW try to do something and on the pay per view. So I think that was the craziest.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you, like, what was it like to share the ring with, and then name a wrestler, and what was he or they like in the ring, and then you'll just tell me what they were like, and then I'll go down some names.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like to share the ring with Balls Mahoney and New Jack, and what were they like in the ring?
They were great. Had fun with them, and they were just I said they took care of me in the ring.
What about Spike Dudley?
Um, Same thing. I mean, I always had a blast with Spike. It was very entertaining. Um, Always took his acid drop, with perfectly. So yeah, I mean, great wrestler.
The Dups, Bo, Jack, and Puck.
I never wrestled the Dubs, but they were great guys. They were funny, especially when they were one. I forgot which Dub was it that broke a Kid Cash's jaw when he went for the splash, broke his jaw, and I didn't know Cash's jaw was broken, and he's just yelling in the back of the locker room. I say, "Hey man, what's going on? You all right?" And he turns around, and he couldn't open his mouth. He was just gritting his teeth, saying that this guy broke his jaw. I'm like, holy shit, So he was pretty hot about it.
Mm. What about Mike Kerner, the one and only match of his in ECW?
Who?
Mike Kerner, the referee.
You mean Mike Keener?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a Kerner. Keener's awesome, dude. He, like I said, he was very entertaining. Great referee, man. Just knowledgeable. But all the referees in there, man. I mean, they're all at that high level athlete where they just always there for the spots. They're great refs. I'm surprised WWE did not pick them up.
Yeah. What about Masato Tanaka?
Great guy, man. Very humble, very, very caring. Always took care of me. I have nothing against the guy. Awesome dude.
Mm-hmm. What about Roadkill and then Danny Doring?
I always had a blast with them, man. They were my buddies, man. I mean, the Roadkill was a little bit stiff, but that's just part of the game. And but I just took it as a laugh. And like I said, I love Danny. I mean, I love making him pop and making him laugh. And so yeah, I mean, awesome group of individuals.
Yeah. Were you there during the time of A.T. Huck as a referee?
The black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I mean, good guy. I mean, he only made like brief appearances, but when he was there, he was on.
Mm-hmm. So I have 2 more questions for you to wrap up the interview. So what is one thing you would tell your fans?
That you could Venmo me or Cash App me any type of money. No, I mean, to tell my fans, I mean, I love them, man. I mean, I appreciate them. I appreciate everything that they've done for me. They always, still remember me. They always come up to me. So all I have is nothing but love for them. And I appreciate them.
Yeah. And do you have any advice for me to become a wrestler?
Just focus, man. Just be humble. Listen to everything that everybody tells you, and take all the little things that everybody tells you, and just try to build up your own avenue to go. But just stay focused, man. Don't get married too young, because if you get married, that's some people can't handle the fact that you're always on the road. So just focus on your career and see how far it takes you, and then you can make the decisions to settle down, make a family. Because it's like this. You got to look at this analogy. If you hook up with a girl now and you're not a wrestler, it's hard for them to accept you being one. It's like you having a girlfriend and your girlfriend says, "I want to be a stripper." You're gonna be like, "No, oh no, my lady's not gonna go on stage." But if you go to a bar, a titty bar, and you meet a stripper, and you fall in love with a stripper, and that's her job, you have to accept it because that's what the package came with. You can't change them. So it's the same thing. Build your career, become a professional wrestler, live your dream. And when the girl comes around, she goes, "Yeah, I mean, I met him as a wrestler. That's who he is. I have to accept it." You know what I mean? Instead of sprung up on.
Yeah. Thank you.
No worries.
And I thank you for taking your time out to do this interview. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on here.
Oh, no problem, man. Anytime, man. I greatly appreciate you having me on here. I appreciate you even reach out to me to even have me on your show. So, anytime, brother.
Do you have any last words for the people where they could find you at like shows and social medias and anything?
Oh, dude, like I said, you can find me at April 4th and 5th in Philadelphia, WrestleMania weekend. I'm going to be in Canada June 28th. The show's on the 29th. That's going to be a blast. And just things are happening, man. So just keep look me up on Facebook. And if there's any people that want to book me, just reach out to me.
Yeah. All right. So again, thank you for doing this, and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
You too, brother. You take care. I appreciate you.
Yep, you too.
Take care.
Yep.